Hey guys, this is Anything to Get Fit, and I'm back thanks to the grace of the Most High. And I have a few notes prepared here because my journey was a very long one. It didn't feel that long, but 4 years, a lot happens in 4 years. And I'm glad to be back here with another video. This is something I wasn't sure I'd ever do again. 4 years ago, I dropped from 393 pounds to 241 pounds. 126 of those pounds was done in 4 months. When I finally had gotten serious and implemented a whole food diet, which basically meant no processed foods, on top of 2 hours of training, 6 days a week. I was lifting weights for about an hour, and I was training either boxing, MMA, or kickboxing for another hour. On the 7th day, I rested. I also made sure to drink about 2 gallons of water a day. At that point, I was on top of the world. It was insane what it did for me psychologically. I was now confident in ways I could never dream of, and eventually I did get comfortable and complacent. First, I stopped training. I started hanging out, playing handball. Then I stopped lifting. And eventually I stopped being so strict with my diet. I started being a little more relaxed. I allowed myself to eat more and more processed foods, which eventually led to me hanging out late at night, getting no sleep, following into the old pattern of things. Then one night I had pizza and got the strongest pain I had ever felt in my abdomen area. I ended up going to the hospital for a gallbladder infection. My lifestyle had finally caught up to me. I ended up spending about a month in the hospital. It was rough looking back. It was needed for me though. It was very humbling because I realized who was really there for me, not for my newfound popularity. The Most High never left my side, and neither did my family and real friends. When I left the hospital, I couldn't go back to training, and being honest, I didn't want to. I didn't want to think about working out, eating right. I just wanted to be comforted with my old frenemy, processed foods, specifically refined sugar. Even though I knew the damage it was doing to my body, or that food scientists literally sit around trying to find out which combination of chemicals release the most dopamine. I didn't care. I just wanted my temporary happiness that led to me going all the way back up to 330 pounds. I went back to feeling numb and insecure again, like I could never do it again. I had lost my hope. I spent the next 3 years just going through the motions, work, smoking, eating until I slept. Eventually, I did have a couple of good friends that would pull me over to the side and said, listen, man, you have a dream, you had a goal, get back to it. Because I still wouldn't stop talking about the fitness, like, oh, I'm gonna get back to it, I'm gonna get back to it. And eventually they were like, listen, either give up on that dream, stop talking about it, or do something about it. I finally had enough. And after being lost for so long, I humbled myself. I confessed my sins to the man upstairs, the Most High, our Father, and I rebuked my wicked habits, my vices, and I prayed for forgiveness. I also prayed he'd give me the strength, discipline, and guidance to change my lifestyle again. Praise to him, I stopped smoking cold turkey. I lost the urge for processed foods. I lost the urge for dairy and breads. And I finally lost that feeling of being lost. I felt hope for the first time I had in so many years. I decided this time around to do things a little differently. I wanted to build up myself as far as like body-wise, because, the first time around, it was a little easier, but it was harder. It's a little confusing because the reason I jumped into it 4 years ago was I had come out of a bar and the next morning I was throwing up bile. That scared the life out of me. I knew that if I didn't do anything then I would most likely die from my lifestyle and habits. So I ended up going to an MMA gym and just going into it full throttle. This time around, I wanted to work up to it a lot slower. So I started with just push-ups. As far as diet, I started with a great fast for the first 5 days, and that helped me reset my body. After that, my diet was heavy in fruits in the mornings, and then brown rice and vegetables and a few select proteins in the afternoon. Fruits is the easiest food for the body to break down. Also, the sugar doesn't hit the body the same way as refined sugar. The weight loss was a lot more gradual this time, and it did at points make me very impatient. It made me feel like, this isn't working. Thankfully, after a few months, I did see major results. And like I said, it was disheartening since I was used to rapid weight loss from past attempts. Still, I prayed, I kept disciplined and hopeful. Praise to him, I started seeing that progress. It wasn't easy, but here I am before you, weighing 225 pounds. The lowest I have been since probably 8th grade. I've struggled with my weight since I was a kid. I've gone on binge diets. I've gone on, starvation mode. I've tried just about everything, fat burner pills. And honestly, this time around, this has felt the easiest and the most natural. I started lifting again. I still keep up with my eating habits without depriving myself. I look for alternatives. Like if, for example, I want ice cream, I'll make nice cream. You know what I'm saying? I look for alternatives where I don't have have to sacrifice taste and flavor, but at the same time, I don't have to sacrifice my body or my health. And I know no matter the obstacles, prayer moves more than mountains. That's why I wanted to dedicate the next part of my life to spreading the good news that his son died for us so that we may live. He will come back, and it's not too late to change your life. Repentance, prayer, and faith can do more for you than you can ever imagine. I also want to help people who are stuck in the same struggles as me. I know it's not easy, but you're not alone. So if you need help, I'm here to give it to you in the way I received it. Basically, the next part of my life, I want to dedicate to helping people that are struggling with obesity or vices, or a combination of both. Because usually with obesity, they go hand in hand with other vices, drinking or smoking or popping pills, whatever. They usually go hand in hand. And like I said, you're not alone. My next goal is to basically help eliminate obesity as much as I can. And thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate this a lot.